Hi, this is the first in a series of videos entitled What is a Genetic Shift? The genetic shift is another interesting aspect of anomaly that your DNA codes were set to go off now. And what you experience in an emergency situation now can be brought about instantaneously and all DNA codes activated simultaneously. This is a bit like calling up the reserves. We riskians would rather not use this method again as done in the grafting of humankind, which took 600 years of your time from Homo erectus with a time-space that lost millions of years up to Homo sapien called Adam. This was to speed up the gene, but did not help for the loss in time which left humans with a large brain of 52 ounces or approximately 1,300 grams, but only able to use a very small portion of it, while we riskians use all of our brain. Humans are man's kind, so we rather not use this method if possible. A more organic approach is preferred in the event of an emergency. Nibiru has forces ready to swing into action. We also have the ability to simultaneously activate the genetic codes of all the Elohim, or as we are known, Anomaly, who walk this ground, and crew members, and to instantly call you to your respective positions for lifting or rapturing. Allow me to digress for a moment, people. You see, the angel Melchizedek, his instructions to us were to stay within 45 minutes drive radius from Tamare, Egypt of the West, Eatonton, Georgia, 31024 USA. It was there at the Magaraj site, the Black Mere or Pyramid, the angel Melchizedek connected us with Nibiru. Everyone who walked behind him in its alignment time ritual, which was performed at the annual Z festival held on June the 26th, on his Earth Day, their personal vibrational tone or energy was transmitted up to Nibiru via the tachyon energy which the Black Pyramid emits. The Black Mere was and still is our personal beacon and the point of extraction. Common sense should tell you that you never move too far away from your beacon. That is your point of extraction, with only a 45-minute extraction window. So it is nothing but a demon that would convince anyone foolish enough to listen to move away from the beacon or that 45-minute extraction window. Now back to the message. Often we test this signal and you hear a buzzing sound or ringing sound in your head or ears. That is the sound waves, but without the broadcasting to you as yet to inform the chosen of what they are to do. So, as I have just said, this is not a preferred course of action because of the shock of the procedure. Many nervous systems are not yet prepared to handle a sudden incoming light wave message, telepathic, from Nibiru. It would be like a surge of that nature would result in the loss of some of the 144,000 children of the Elohim. The angel has already taught us that each of us must take 9 steps backwards or become matter with the property of a negative energy density, unlike normal matter, which has a positive density. We must have taken liquid gold, Inbu, and transformed to zero-time reference. It is matter which has a gravitational attraction of less than 0. Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 15, verses 169 through 171 explains new astral mutations will take place where new magnetic lines bring about the balances in the energy coupling from a proton-electron-proton grid to an electron-proton-electron grid. Here, the bioenergy field of the body inherits a new electron and positron pair, and the blood circulatory system inherits new magnetic lines of force. The ionized field around the blood cells loses its proton-electron-proton relationship to a new electron-proton-electron field as the life form is moved into the next phase of the electromagnetic spectrum, unquote. A true quantum physics incarnated one can transform into a craft or use quantum mechanics. This can make him at 2 places at one time, or even 4 places through quantum entanglement. Particles millions of light years away can be connected without physical contact. Space-time can be manipulated. Beings can be teleported. That is gravity-resistant matter. Flesh, once transformed, can travel as ether. Transport as hyper-dimensional shift. Every time U.N.N try to take humans to a higher level, some leave. Then we are forced to cut their etheric cords from us. This hurts us, but it must be done. Then we seek a new soul to prepare for the trip. So now is the time. Holy Tablets, chapter 2, tablet 1, verses 13 through 25 makes the message even clearer. It states, the mothership Nibiru, whose diameter is 63,408 miles, can make itself bigger or smaller, will be nearing your solar system and waiting on the other side of the asteroid belt, which is the necklace of the firmament, for time, which will be in the lunar logging of the 12th point in the month of August, when the planet called Earth positions itself in the location of its own revolution in the year 2003 of the Gregorian calendar, which is when this vortex will reopen. Nibiru's appearance in November 15th was confirmed by scientists with the coming of a comet called Hale-Bopp after its discoverers Alan Hale and Thomas Bopp in the year 1996. Due to the size of Nibiru, which is 63,408 miles, if it was to come near your planet, its gravitational pull will begin to tear away parts of Tiamat and cause the other planets on this side of the asteroid to draw into each other. So Nibiru stays on the other side of the asteroid or firmament, where the planets Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are. It is then that the Shams passenger crafts will reach the planet Earth, coming forth to you for the rebirth of the elite few, the 144,000 from the moon base, forming the six-pointed star and crescent in the sky as your sign. On Nibiru, you had 400 species broken up into three sets of 144,000. You had the Igigi, the Dinir, the Riskians, and many mixed species from different star constellations. The Christians late took the concept of the 144,000 and the rapture, used it in their Bible. If we are blocked, we shall continue to abduct you up until the lunar logging of the 26th point in June, when the Earth positions itself in the location of revolution of Earth year 2030 AD of the Gregorian calendar. This is what Christians call the rapture. This would involve a telepathic message from Nibiru, which could be dangerous to those children who haven't raised themselves to a certain level and would cause a shock to their nervous system. Many would cut off, causing us to sever our etheric tie, although it may be a necessary step. Know this, my child, in the lunar logging of the 12th point in the month of August, when the planet called Earth positions itself in the location of revolution of Earth in the year 2043 AD of the Gregorian calendar, this vortex will reopen and we must depart with or without you. So be prepared. My child, listen and overstand. These crafts are coming to pick you up, their children. However, the evil Luciferians in human form, aided by the cursed seed of Canaan and their brothers the Halabians, Flugelrods, or Hulub, are on the rise in many names and organizations throughout the world today, and are trying their best through the media and mind control to make you, the children of the Anunnaki, Elohim, regress back to your state of Homo erectus with the aid of black devils. If you regress back to that state, then, my children, the elders have no reason to come for you, for it is Homo sapien that is in our image and after our likeness. You humans are on a path of self-destruction. You indulge in many things that just are no good for you. For instance, everyone loves music. Yet music, or what is called music today as a form of recreation, is doing just that. Wrecking creation. What I mean is, everybody is vibrating on a certain tone, one of the 7 notes of the scale: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This vibration is detectable and linked into the brain waves. Certain mystic groups use the tone Aum, and they chant it repeatedly to attune the body into one tone or frequency. That is the sound you're hearing on the video. They call these chants mantra, a chant or verse or charm of an Indian scripture. These Buddhists and other chants get you to vibrate on a frequency that will align you with the forces that will enslave your soul. After the year 1925 AD, the grid of sound or vibration of music had changed from vibrating on 8. Now it is A440, meaning the musical note A has a frequency of 440 hertz, a unit of frequency in the centimeter gram second system, which is 1 cycle per second, or cycles per second on the 5th octave. It should be tuned to C instead of A. The earth vibrates on 8 cycles per second. That's its pulse, because it is alive and has biorhythms, just like humans. This is the Aum principle, based on Mother Nature. However, since the telepathic influence, the musical instruments, such as the piano, have been tuned to A440, which is 55 times what it should be. And it has been sped up since 1945 AD to 442 hertz and 443 hertz. By speeding up music, it sped up time. Every 10 years, the music changes. If you go back 10 years before 1995 to 1985 AD, what type of music was popular then? People like Madonna, Prince, Michael Jackson, and Janet Jackson all came in dancing and singing. What about 10 years back from 1985 AD? That would take you to 1995 AD, and that was when groups were into disco, and they sang the kinds of song that your mother and father said, no, that was real music. Funk was also introduced in the early 70s. Now go back 10 years from 1975 AD, and you are in 1965 AD. That was the era of Pharoah Sanders, Miles Davis, Sonny Rollins, Roland Kirk, Sun Ra, Hugo Masakila, Brass Construction, BT Express, The Gap Band, Musique, Donna Summer, Aretha Franklin, The Temptations, The Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, Mandrill, War, a host of reggae, Blue Magic, Delphonics, Stylistics, Black Ivory, Intruders, Harold Melvin and the Blue Note, the Jackson 5, the Sister Sledge, the Jones Girls, Phyllis Hyman and Angela Bofield, just to name a few. Then go on back to 1955 AD. It was music like James Brown, Chuck Berry, Brooke Benton, Sam Cooke, the Drifters, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Stevie Wonder, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Chuck Berry, Patti LaBelle, Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, the Staple Singers, the Students, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, the Shirelles, the Crystals, the Chantels, the Marvelettes, Jack and the Starlights, the Moonglows, B.B. King, Little Richard, and Bobby Blue Bland, to name a few. If you go way back to the beginning of rock music, you discover that a black man named Chuck Berry is known as the father of rock and roll. And don't forget Bo Diddley, Jimi Hendrix, and Fats Domino. And back to 1945, there was Billie Holiday, Cab Calloway, Ruth Brown, Maxine Sullivan, Nancy Wilson, Nat King Cole, Jimmy Scott, Josephine Baker, Diane Carroll, Dorothy Dandridge, Billy Eckstine, Lena Horne, Duke Ellington, Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, Satchmo, Louis Armstrong, and Dizzy Gillespie. You can see that there is a drastic change in the music just by the different sounds that you have been introduced to over a period of 50 years. Music is nothing like it used to be, and it happens every 50 years. The tones are changing. 1995 to 2005, we were in another tone change. Hip hop was dying, and you had groups like Boys to Men, After Seven, Silk, Najee, Destiny's Child, Force MDs, Shy, Portrait, and soloists like Sade, Brandy, Tony Braxton, Mary J. Blige, the late Aaliyah, and Chante Moore. They were coming in and they were basically singing remakes of the older songs, and they were using the same sound and style of music again. They were focusing on groups like Brownstone, Jade, TLC, Escape, The Good Girls, Ex-Girlfriend, SWV, Zayn, and Changing Faces. Then there were men singing a bunch of slow songs like R. Kelly, Babyface, Brian McKnight, Keith Washington, Johnny Gill, Luther Vandross, and Tony Terry. And emotions were changing. Another way to notice that things are changing is by the name of the groups. For instance, years ago, when musical groups were formed, names such as the Impressions, the Miracles, the Marvelettes, the Stylistics, the Supremes were used. Then finally, blacks started calling themselves Naughty by Nature, NWA, Niggas with Attitudes, or BWP, Bitches with Problems, Demon Boys, The Ghetto Boys, Natas, which is Satan spelled backward, and Public Enemy. The spell had made these kids mad. And when you read mad backward or in dyslexia, it's damn, which is nothing more than the phonetic of the word damn, meaning to bring about failure of, ruin, to condemn as harmful, illegal, or immoral, to condemn to everlasting punishment or a similar fate, doom, to swear at, to swear to curse, used to express anger, irritation, contempt, or disappointment. The saying of the word damn as a curse, the least valuable bit, a jot. This is what's happening to your kids every day when they listen to that radical music that is being pushed on them by the evil angels. And this is what they are doing through their music. They are expressing how angry and irritated they are. Just listen to some of the lyrics of their songs. Something has obviously changed, and for the worse. Someone is controlling the tones, and all of this was done to tranquilize and sedate the seed of the warrior, and now they are dead. I don't like rap music, however, I support them because they were put here to fight the beast on the ground so that the ships, the shams, can come and pick up the worthy beings. But they were diverted from their purpose. They are not out to hurt you. You just don't cross their path. The greater sound or vibration in music was done to be able to accept extraterrestrials. On June the 26th, 1952 AD, there was a sighting of 9 crafts over the White House in Washington, D.C. One of the beings was from the Andromeda star constellation. The beings from Aldebaran look like what is portrayed to you in the movie Predator, because these insect-like beings were so gruesome to look at. The late President Harry S. Truman rejected them. So they sent humanoids, and he dealt with the beings of the Ashtar command from Pleiades and Aldebaran constellation. This meeting was an intergalactic meeting requesting the laying down of arms for the salvation of the planet. Many extraterrestrials like Thor and the extraterrestrials from Venus and the Ashtar command representing the beings from Aldebaran, other beings, and others from Pleiades, a 7-star or 7-sun system in Orion, the 16th galaxy. These beings were questionable beings. Both were humanoids and have less water in their bodies, giving them a pasty appearance. During the meeting, the Ashtar command met with the late President Eisenhower, the 34th president, and asked America to lay down their weapons with the intention of world peace. As your former president Harry S. Truman once had. But Valiant Thor, also called Val Thor, who was from the planet Venus and came to America to stay on March the 16th, 1957 AD, to stay at the Pentagon until March 16th, 1960 AD. He said, don't trust the people from Aldebaran, who were Aryan, blonde hair, blue-eyed. The government said, we can't lay down our weapons because of outside threats, and we don't know if we can trust you. So the Venerians told the government, to prove that you can trust us, we will stay here and help you. However, the beings from Aldebaran became highly insulted that they were labeled untrustworthy, so they went back in time and contacted Adolf Hitler and had a meeting with psychics of the Thule Society, which led to what is called the Third Reich. They could not live here on Earth because of the vibrational tone of the beings, us Earthlings, who live here. So for them to come and stay here and give the Caucasian the time machine and the mind machine that they showed them in 1943 AD, they said they would return in 1953 AD to stay here. Humans would have to change the tone and frequency of the planet. So humans did. This is being done by malevolent, disagreeable beings from Zeta Reticuli in the Orion constellation in the 16th galaxy, but now live in the seas of the planet Earth. Because music has been sped up, is why the world is in a state of lunacy. The purpose of music is to drive people insane. This is one of the many methods used by beings who want to take over planet Earth. You actually feel it through gospel. Simple gospel has become contemporary gospel. It has moved from blues to a new sound. They have changed the sounds from people like Albertina Walker, Inez Andrews, Mahalia Jackson, James Cleveland, the Staple Singers, Doc McKenzie, the Williams Brothers, and Shirley Caesar, to the contemporary B.B. and C.C. Winans, Tremaine Hawkins, Take Six, the Winans, Al Green, Andre Crouch, Angie and Debbie, Hezekiah Walker, the Love Fellowship Choir, and the Clark Sisters. Now you are changing, or you are cheering on the alteration of time. Thus ends today's video. We hope you have learned something from this video, and we urge you to share this video and to subscribe to the only channel where you will learn true ancient Egyptian mysteries. No more lies, no more guesswork. So share, subscribe, click on the like button below, and see you at part 2.